Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Monster High the movie, which released today on October 6th. And basically I'm just going to be talking about what it's about and my thoughts on it. Also, disclaimer before I start, the reason I'm making this video is because the director of the movie directed one of the most racist movies. I know a lot of people want to know what happens in the movie, so I'm just making this video telling you what happens. Yeah. Also, I must address the hairstyle for a second. I don't part my hair like this, but I wanted to like this bow to be like also Monster High shirt and my Monster High tattoo. So basically full on Monster High today. So let's jump into it. So the first scene is basically Claudine. She has a skateboard and she's like skating in a park, just having fun, you know. She bumps into this guy and her wolf ears are exposed. And they're like, a wolf, what the hell? So they chase her off and Claudine jumps into a tree. And yeah, that's basically the first scene. She goes back home and we find out that it's her 15th birthday. So super cute. And her dad's throwing a little thing. And it's super cute. Also, Claudine is half werewolf, half human. I think her mom died. I think. But her dad is the human parts. Yeah. After the birthday celebration, Claudine tells her dad that she got accepted into Monster High, and he's like, it's too dangerous, you're half human, and she's like, well, I'm half wolf too, and I want to be accepted somewhere. So he's like, okay, fine, I'll make sure that you go. And then we have a driving montage, and then they arrive to where the portal is for Monster High. Claudine goes through the portal, and then coming out of the dark, the song plays. And oh my, I have so many thoughts about this song. First of all, I love this song. It's my favorite, maybe second favorite, because of another song I'm gonna talk about later. But I think it could have been so much more. Like, I've talked about this since we've heard the song. I really wanted more characters to sing a verse in the song. I can't believe it's only like Drac, Frankie, and Claudine. And Deuce has a line. But I really wanted like Laguna, Cleo, Heath, Deuce sing more lines. I think it would have been better. Like, if you're gonna have like a introduction to school type of thing where you're excited of going and being accepted, then why don't all the other characters sing about how they feel? And it makes me so bad. Like, they have an instrumental part for Heath and Cleo. Why did they make them sing? The song should have been 5 minutes long. I am so mad it's only 3 minutes because it's so good. So we're introduced to the three main characters, which is Frankie, Draculaura, and Claudine. The next scene is like not really important, but it's basically we get to see Cosmos and then Bloodgood and then Draculaura's dad. So it's really cool. But the scene after that is Claudine going to the dorms. And she encounters a character, and that character is Ghoulia. And Ghoulia tries to scare her, but she's like, damn, it didn't work. And Ghoulia's like, the school's alive. Just ask the school where your dorm is. And Ghoulia, I don't like live action Ghoulia. I think that they should have made her speak zombie. I don't really like her personality and the fact that she doesn't speak zombie. It makes me angry. And I don't like it anytime she's on screen. I'm sorry. No offense to the actor. So the walls open and then it's Claudine's dorm, and the room is shaped, okay, imagine this is a square, right? 1/3 is Claudine, 1/3 is Frankie, and 1/3 is Draculaura's. And it's really cool because Frankie's bed is the Generation 1 bed. It's so cool. Their rooms are personalized to them, and I really love that, and it's really cute. So finally we get to meet Frankie, and then we meet Draculaura. So Draculaura is very cold at first. She's like, you stay out of my way, I'll stay out of yours. She doesn't really want to become friends with Frankie or Claudine, and it's very interesting. After that's the first day of school, and Frankie and Claudine are really excited because they're like searching everything, they're exploring the school, and they come across their lockers, and they come across a vending machine that has like monster themed snacks, and it's so cute. Oh my god, I love that. After that, we get a scene of Cleo going to Deuce, and Cleo's like, I'm totally over you, by the way. And Deuce is like, great, I don't care. And after that, he walks away. And then Claudine and Frankie come over, and Cleo's like kind of being mean to Frankie and Claudine. and Claudine like snaps at her and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go. Frankie takes notice of Deuce looking at Claudine, and then they're like, ooh, Claudine, he's looking at you. So they go up to Deuce and they finally meet Deuce. After that, there's a loud announcement that Bloodgood wants to talk to Claudine and she needs to go to her office. So Claudine goes to her office and Bloodgood is basically like, oh, you know, your mom was like a proud student at this school. Would you be able to do the speech at the ceremony? I think it's in a week. I don't remember. But Claudine's like, sure, I guess. And then Bloodgood is like, oh, also your dad wasn't listed on the paper. So he's not human, right? And she's like, no, he's not. Claudine starts to feel herself turning human, like her nails like start going, and she's like, oh my god, what's happening? So she leaves to the bathroom and she catches Draculaura trying to make a potion in the bathroom, and they have like a moment and she's like, sorry. So it's the next day of school and they're in the courtyard and Claudine finds Frankie and she asked Frankie and she was like, do you know if it's normal for people to turn, I don't know, human? And Frankie's like, no. Oh wait, I do. That's literally what they say. I love them so much. And they explain that sometimes in fear or distress that people who are half monster, half human can start to turn human. So Claudine's like, great. That's so fun for me. Next, we have the classroom scene, and it's basically just the classroom where we're introduced to the teacher, Komos. They basically start talking about the history of Monster High, and basically it was meant to keep out humans and have a place where monsters can be themselves. Claudine is like, are all humans bad? And the class laughs, and Komos is like, let me tell a story. And he whips out his guitar, and Draculaura's like, please don't start singing. And he starts singing, and she's like, he's singing. Which I think is such a funny moment. I think the first time I saw that, I just started laughing because I thought it was so cute. True Monster Heart. Such a good song. Oh my god, I love that song so much. So much. When I first heard the song, I thought the lyrics were really stupid and dumb. But then I kept hearing it over and over, and oh my god. The actor for Komos, his voice is amazing and beautiful and makes that song so good. And also, I just love a really good classroom scene, like the ad-libs the students would do, and it's so cute. I love that so much. And I love a good classroom scene. I love that scene so much. It's super cute. Basically, True Monster Heart tells the story of Dr. Hyde, and basically he was half human, half monster, as you know. So basically, the live action erased Holt and Jackson. Rip Holt and Jackson. I miss them so much. I really hope that the cartoon makes them characters because they were one of the most interesting characters of Monster High, I think, in my opinion. And I miss them. So he went to trial for not having a true monster heart, and no one would believe him because he didn't have a true monster heart. So he went into hiding. And that was basically what the story is. So Claudine, after class, she asks Komos and she's like, oh, did he leave behind anything? And he's like, I think he left a potion that like he tried to make himself fully monster. Claudine's like, where? I'll do my project on him. And he's like, okay, I like the spirit. So just check out the library for any books that you may find. And she's like, okay. So then we cut to the library scene. And it's basically Claudine checking out some books. And all of a sudden she starts to turn human. It's like very spooky atmosphere. Also, this turning human part, so scary. When she like got ears, so scary. Why did they make that so scary? Starts freaking out, she turns into a human, and then she backs up and then she sees Frankie and screams. So Frankie knows that Claudine is half human now. They basically are sitting down and Claudine's like, what do I do? And Frankie's like, well, I can help you. Claudine was like, I have this book, but I don't understand this. And Frankie is so smart. Frankie's made from like dead people. Frankie has Shakespeare, Frida Kahlo, Marie Curie. I forgot who else. But a lot of people. So Frankie's super smart, and it's so cool. It's such a cool detail to add to their character. They find out that his lair is in the cemetery. So they're like, okay, after dark, we will go sneak off to the cemetery. So after they get out of the library, they meet Deuce, and Claudine has like a weird like moment with him. Gross. And Frankie's like, oh, why'd you act like that? Is it because you like Deuce? Cleo overhears this also. She comes in later. But basically, they're in the room. Jackie Laura's reading a book. Frankie and Claudine are basically talking about Deuce. And Claudine's like, I literally don't like him. Like, I don't. And Frankie's like, okay, sure you don't. And Cleo comes in and she's like, oh my god, I heard you like Deuce. Well, don't like him because he's out of your league. And Jackie Laura is pissed off. She does not want to hear any of this. She wanted silence while reading her book. I support her. And she put a spell on Cleo's face to have a pimple. And Cleo screams and gets out. Loudspeaker comes in and it's like, curfew, you gotta go to bed. So Claudine and Frankie look at each other like, and they sneak out to the cemetery. They're talking in the cemetery, and Frankie reveals that they're not good with social norms, and they might be like brain smart, but they don't know how to speak to people. And this is really important because a lot of people in the community have headcanoned G3 Frankie as autistic because of social norms. And I think that's really good representation. Frankie's not good with social norms, and Claudine's like, you're my friend, I love you. And they're like, they have a sweet moment together. So they find the lair, and there's like a handprint. Claudine's like, damn, I don't know what this is. And all of a sudden they hear something. And so they catch Drac doing witchcraft. All of a sudden, play Three of Us. Is it called Three of Us? I don't like that song. It's just my personal opinion. I think that it sounds like a Little Mix song, and I don't like Little Mix's songs. It's fine if you do, but I don't, personally. So, after that, they go back to the lair, and Jackie Laura's like, okay, so you need me to open this? And they're like, yeah. And Jackie Laura's like, okay, I got a spell. Let's head out. So the next day, we get to see the coffee bean, and it's super cute, and I just love the coffee bean so much. They're talking about the ingredients that they need for the spell to open the door, and one of the ingredients was ogre bone. Previously in other scenes, Bloodgood explained that she got an ogre bone mug from Joan of Arc. So like, okay, we can go when Bloodgood is not in her office. And Frankie's like, oh, she's not in her office between this time and this time. They're like, how the hell do you know that? Frankie's like, I keep track of everything people ever do all the time. And that was such a funny moment. I love that scene so much, because then Frankie points out like Jackie Laura licks her lips like every 25 to 40 seconds, and then it happens, and then Frankie's like, you did it again. And Jackie Laura's like, it's so funny. Cut to the next scene. They wait for Bloodgood to leave her office, and Frankie and Jackie Laura are lookouts while Claudine is getting the ogre bone. Now also there's a big ass clock that like watches the school. I don't know, so Claudine has to avoid that and get some ogre bone while they're getting distracted. So Claudine's not being fast enough, and all of a sudden Bloodgood is done, and then Jackie Laura's like, can you go stall her, to Frankie? And Frankie's like, that's literally they're so cute. I love Frankie. I'm sorry. This is just me raving about how much I love Frankie. And Jackie Laura's like, go! So Frankie starts talking about random facts with Bloodgood to basically stall her, but all of a sudden we see Cleo, and Cleo's like, I have the minutes from this morning's meeting. And Bloodgood is like, okay, you could put them on my office. And now we got a problem. Jackie Laura's like, so Jackie Laura tries to stall her, but it doesn't work. Hi, editor here. Also, Cleo says, don't Cleo patronize me, which is a callback to G1. It's so cute! I love it so much. And Cleo enters her office, and Claudine hides. She got the ogre bone at this point, but she's hiding behind a desk. All of a sudden, Cleo hears a noise, and she's like, who the hell is there? Really fast, Jackie Laura changes Claudine into Bloodgood, and it's actually a really funny moment because you could really see like Claudine's personality like poke through Bloodgood, and that actress, such a good job. Thank you. So jump cut to next scene. It's Jackie Laura talking to her dad on the little painting thing that they used to communicate, and Jackie Laura's dad is giving her such a hard time. Like, it's so bad. Jackie Laura was like, oh, I got like a 92, and he was like, that's not good enough, you need to be better. And she was just really upset, and then the phone call ends, and Jackie Laura and Claudine have this really cute moment where they're like, I want to be myself. They're like, we can be ourselves. And it's really cute. So the only thing that they need is snake venom, and Claudine realizes that she has to get snake venom from Deuce. And she goes to him and she's like, hey, you want to work on the project? Can I tell my speech to you? that I have to perform soon. And he's like, sure. So they go out to this little spot and they sing Trust, which is the song. And I hate that it's such a good song. It is such a good song. Oh my god. I don't really like Deuce in this generation, to be honest. He has so many lines where he's like, I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to be the bad boy anymore. And it's like, okay, I don't care. Have another personality other than being the ex-bad boy. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't. So I don't really like Juice in the live action. He's like my least favorite. He's so annoying. I don't like him. But afterwards, Claudine is like, I have to confess that I need your snake venom for something important that I can't tell you. He's like, why'd you say so? And he just gives it to her. And then now next we go to the cemetery and they're talking about it, and then they're like, oh my god, he so likes you. And then everyone's like, yeah, he so likes you. Gross. After that, they try the spell. This is exactly what Draculaura does. She's like, she's like this. It's pretty fun. But they tried a spell and it didn't work. They tried it twice and it didn't work. And it really bummed out Draculaura because she was like, maybe I'm just not a good witch. Maybe it's not my thing. So they go home. And basically they're back at Monster High and they're being really sad because it didn't work. So they have to figure out something else. And all of a sudden, Bloodgood, Komos, and Cleo caught them. And they're like, I know you practice witchcraft. When Draculaura did the pimple thing, Cleo knew it was witchcraft because she worked with the god of magic, I think it was. So it's a big thing, and then all of a sudden, like, the school starts like shaking and stuff, and it's like, oh my god. And this tire boulder comes down, and Claudine pushes Cleo out of the way and saves her. And as they're walking out, Bloodgood is like, this is happening because there's not a true monster heart among us. But Bloodgood is like, we have to find out who it is or else the school's gonna fall apart. So they go back to the dorms, and Claudine is like, oh, Draculaura, I'm so sorry. I'll tell them it was me. Like, I didn't mean, I'm the one that's ruining the school. Draculaura's like, Draculaura's too upset to speak. Claudine packs her things and she leaves the school. We see her next on a bench and she's basically just like sitting there. And all of a sudden Draculaura comes in. And Draculaura tells her, you should come back to school. You know, I don't blame you for anything that happened, but I really miss you. And Frankie comes in. So basically Claudine starts freaking out and she's like, no, you guys are too good for me. I'm ruining everything. And she starts becoming human and she's like, look at me. And she runs, falls. All of a sudden they're like, oh my god, you see that? What? You don't think it is, right? Basically they go back to the graveyard and they find out that the handprint is just a human handprint. There's like nothing special about it. So Claudine just makes herself a sort of human and then puts her hand, and then all of a sudden it's done. They got in and they're entered in this room where there's a tomb, and then they have to like poke the mummy's eye. I don't know why. I forgot why. But Frankie's like, gross, because Frankie has to poke the eye. And then they enter the lab and they're like, oh my god, they got the lab. They find the potion and Claudine is like having second thoughts. She realizes that her human side is her dad's and it would be like erasing him, and she's having second thoughts. All of a sudden Komos comes in. He's like, don't do that, Claudine. You would be erasing your other half. And he's like, give it to me. And she was like, okay. And all of a sudden, turns out Komos is evil. He's the son of Hyde. And okay, I guess. This part I really didn't like because it felt so like out of place. Out of nowhere. Like, we could have not had this moment at all. Like, just this entire, like, I'll explain the entire, like, villain scene, but it was so quick. It was like a matter of like 5 minutes. And I just did not like it at all. I understand why they made Komos a villain, and it felt way too quick. There was like no build up to his villain moment. Like, the school had like spooky stuff going on, but that's because the school could sense that there was not a true monster heart among them. Which also, another thing, if they could sense that there was not a true monster heart, is it like, Komos has been evil from the beginning. He infiltrated Monster High to search for the lab. So why is school breaking down now? Like, is it because he's finally putting his plan into action? Because it makes no sense, but whatever, it's fine. But basically he turns into this monster. He drank the potion and he becomes full monster, and it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. I'm just saying. He can take away people's powers. Okay, I guess monster powers. So he takes away Dracula's monster powers, so she's like really weak. Before he could take away anyone else's, 3 of them run and they're like, we're out of here. So then they go to the second room where the mummy is, right? Dracula is really, really weak. And they're like rushing and they're like, oh my god, the door won't open. And Claudine is like, Frankie, call someone. And Frankie's like, what the hell is a call? Claudine's like, you haven't used your phone for the main purpose it was used for? And Frankie's like, I don't know. So basically Frankie ends up live streaming and catches Cleo and Laguna's attention. And Claudine is like, please send help. This is what's happening. Like, please send help. Cleo calls Deuce and Deuce gets the whole gang together, which I don't know why you wouldn't tell an adult. What were these kids thinking they were gonna do? I don't know, but okay. Dracula's like, I think I still have some power in me. And they're like, no, you don't. What are you talking about? And she's like, well, witchcraft is different. It's not tied to my monster powers. And she does this spell again and it releases the door. Woo! So basically they're outside and everyone came in. Gulia, Heath, Abby, Laguna, Deuce, Cleo, all of them came in. And they're like, oh my god, what's going on? What's going on? All of a sudden, Komos enters and he's like, what's up? I'm gonna destroy this school because why not? I hate you people. They're like, we're live streaming this. He's like, I don't care. I'm gonna destroy the school. Claudine tries reasoning with him, which obviously he's not gonna be reasoned with. I don't know why she tried doing that, but okay. And he tries taking away Claudine's monster powers when all of a sudden Deuce comes in, takes off his glasses, and tries like turning him to stone. But he closes his eyes and Como steals Deuce's powers and used the same trick on him. So he turned Deuce to stone and he's like launched back. And Deuce is like turning to stone. All of a sudden Claudine is like with him. And he says to Claudine, at least I got to look in your eyes. Ew. I cannot stress enough ew. Because ew. Gross. That's just something I had to mention. It makes me uncomfortable when I watch that moment. Gross. Anyways, so basically because of the commotion, Claudine starts turning human and she's like freaking out because, you know, that's what happens. And all of a sudden, Cleo's like, I have an idea, use this. And Claudine tries talking to him, but it doesn't work, obviously. He tries taking her monster powers, but she's human, so it doesn't work. He tries turning her to stone, but she all of a sudden uses her camera, the mirror. She uses the camera and he turns himself to stone, and then that's it. That's the entire villain arc of Komos, and it was like 5 minutes. I hated it. I already said, I don't like that moment. It was boring. Like, it was boring. Like, why do we have like 9 characters there doing nothing? I don't like that moment. Bloodgood and Dracula come back and they're like, oh my god, you're not full werewolf? And Claudine's like, you know what? Yeah, I am. I'm a human also. And then it cuts to the next scene and Claudine thinks that she's gonna leave Monster High because her dad comes, and Bloodgood is like, no, actually, you opened my eyes. We need to accept everyone. You know, it doesn't matter. And basically whole number goes out and it's just very cute. It's a very good ending. And that's it. That's a movie. And then all of a sudden, it's not over. Oh my god. There's a crystal ball and they're looking at Draculaura, Claudine, and Frankie, and it's someone holding it. And they're like, she's the one. She's the one I need. And they're talking about Draculaura because she has powers. So basically they are teasing at a second movie. People have theorized that the person is Nephra because she knows what magic is. As Cleo said that Cleo worked with the magic god, so Nephra probably worked with the magic god too. So people think it's Nephra. I also think it's Nephra. And yeah, I think it would be cool to bring Nephra in. But yeah, basically my thoughts. What is my rating? Okay, basically my rating is 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't a bad movie. It honestly was not a bad movie. I love the movie. Like, I really do. But the Komos villain scene throws it off. I skip it. I press skip. Did somebody say? I forgot to mention, hi, blue lighting. I forgot to mention that at the end of the movie, it doesn't seem like Claudine really likes Deuce that much. They seem like friends. So that's all I have to say about that. They really seem like friends. Like, I didn't really get anything out of that out of the end of the movie. So they are not dating. Do not worry. When the movie first came out, people complained about the fashion, that it wasn't Monster High, but watching it, oh my god, there were so many costume changes. So many. Like, it'll be one scene that is daytime and they have an outfit on. The next scene, nighttime, they have a completely different outfit. It's so impressive. It's actually really impressive. I really like the costumes in the movie. I think some of them are bad while some of them are good. I like how they sticked to everyone's color palette and aesthetic. It makes me so happy. I think the worst outfits were... Who got the worst outfits? Cleo had some really bad outfits. I did not like it. But Cleo's shoes were really good most of the time. Frankie got the best outfits. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, also, I'm talking about Frankie. Frankie is my favorite character from Generation 3. They are so cute. I love them. Cece was made to play Frankie, and I stand by that 100%. Frankie was made for them. And his portrayal of Frankie is just so great. Like, the audience, as the audience, you can't help to love Frankie because of how quirky and how enjoyable Frankie is. So, I just love Frankie. Draculaura. I know when the trailer came out, people were mad that they took away Draculaura's like sweet style, but I really like this new personality. Personally, I'm so sorry. Draculaura is everything I want to be in the live action. Like, I love how confident she is. Naya's portrayal is just so good, and I love it so much. With Mia's portrayal of Claudine, I think that she brought a new aspect to her, and it's just, she was such a good actress. Like, I love her so much. The set was actually really good. Shout out to the set people because wow, their filming only took place in a month. Like, in a month they got everything done. There's so many sets that they had to work with, but it looks really good. Also, the school, oh my god, the school looks so good. Oh my god, so good. Also, Deuce's hair, yeah, I know that Deuce's hair is really hard to make animated because it is like all snakes. I think that they did good with what they had. If you don't understand his hair, it's basically the front part is like actual hair and the back is all snakes. So that's how his hair is, which I didn't understand the hair at first until I watched the movie. But yeah, overall, the soundtrack is really good. My favorite songs are Spark, Coming Out of the Dark, Trust. Those are my favorites. And I really like the movie. It's a very 2010s Disney movie. Like, if you know what I mean. Like Girl vs. Monster, like what other 2010 movies. But it gives me that feel, and I really like the movie. I think that with a new director, they could make a sequel like so much better, and it's just but yeah, I've been thinking about the movie all day. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to talk about it more. But yeah, bye bye.